Welcome to Primus Civil Services Academy. I am your CSAT faculty, Sachin Gopanaal. In this video, we will discuss the answers and solutions to the CSAT paper of 2025 Prelims paper. And before starting answering the questions, I will give you a brief analysis of the paper. This year's paper, it was not easy at all. It was somewhere between moderate to difficult. And our CSAT paper can be broadly classified into three parts or three sections. The first would be mathematics part or quantitative aptitude, then reasoning, and then passages or reading comprehension. And as per the latest trend, the same trend followed this year also, that is the reasoning questions, some of them they were easy and some of them were moderately difficult, and only few of them were very difficult. But the mathematics questions or the quantitative aptitude ones, they ranged from moderate to difficult, and overall the paper was moderate to difficult. So this was a brief analysis of the paper, and before without much introduction, we will start answering the questions one by one. First we will answer the reasoning questions. Okay, take a look at this question. What comes at x and y respectively in the following sequence? Okay, so they have given us the series and they want us to find which months will come in places of x and y. January, December, October, x, March, October, y, September. Okay, so now we need to find out what pattern has been followed to name these months in this order, and we should, as per the pattern, which month should come in places of x and y. That is what we need to find. Okay, now if we see here, from January to December and December to October, and then March, October, September. So here the months are not in their sequential or chronological order. So for example, January and January, okay, January and December, okay, but December to October, so they have gone back. From January to December they have gone forward, but from December to October they have gone backward. So what might be the logic here? Now actually what logic has been followed here is, now from January to January, how many months backward have they gone? None. 0. From January to December, how many months backward have they gone? 1 month. And from December to October, they have gone 2 months backward. Okay, and this is only an analysis video. This is not a teaching video, so I will not tell you how I came up with this logic. I will only give you the answers and solutions. So because if I went on solving each question in detail, it would take too much time. So I will give you ready answers and solutions, but I will explain each of them in detail. Okay, so we went 0 month back, 1 month back, 2 month back. So by that logic, here we need to go 3 months back, and then from X to March we need to go 4 months back, and from March to October they have gone 5 months back. How? Because if you go 5 months behind March, February, January, December, November and October, and we need to go 6 months back from October to Y, and 7 months back from Y to September. Okay, so if you go 3 months behind October, September, August and July, so X will be July. Okay, what about Y? If okay, let us cross check it. What do you get if you go 4 months behind July? July, June, May, April and March. Yes, that checks out. Then what month do you get if you go 6 months behind October? So if you go 6 months behind October, we will get April. Okay, what month do we get if we go 7 months behind April? March, February, January, then December, November, October and September. So everything checks out. So the answer is July and April. Do we have that option? Yes. For 8th question, option B will be your answer. Okay, we'll go to the next question now. Okay, consider the sequence AB under dash CC dash A dash B, CCC dash BB dash C, sorry, C dash C. So consider the sequence that follows the certain pattern. Which one of the following completes the sequence? So to answer such questions, just directly substitute the options, and whichever gives you a valid looking formula, sorry, looking pattern, that will be your answer. So let us substitute the first one and see what we get. So A, B, okay, rather than writing, I think we can just do it with our eyes itself. So if you substitute option A here, you get ABB CCC, okay, then ABB CCC, okay, then here you get CBBC AC. So no clear pattern. So option A is not our answer. Let us try option B. If we start with this one, we get ABACC, sorry, ABACCC, ABBACC, then ABBCCC, then CBBC. So again, no clear pattern. Okay, let us try the third one. ABBCCC, then ABBCCC, then ABBCCC. So if we use the third option, we get a very clear pattern. That would be ABBCCC, then ABBCCC, then again ABBCCC. So take a look at the series that we get with our third choice. It is just a repetition of these letters: ABBCCC, ABBCCC, ABBCCC. So we can make a clear pattern here. So our answer will be option C. Okay, we'll go further now. What is X in this sequence? So now they have given us the series 24, X, 12, 18, 36, 90. So now what value can X take? So if you see that from 12 and further there has been an increase in the number, but from 24 to 12 there has been a decrease. So usually when such a thing happens, it will be some sort of geometric progression, or there will be multiplication involved. Now 12 into 1.5, that would be 18. So if you increase 12 by 50%, 12 into 1.5, that will be 18. And 18 into 2 is 36. And 13 into 36 into 2.5, that would be 90. I will tell you how. This is 12 into 1.5 will give you 18. And 18 into 2 will give you 36. And 36 into 2.5 will give you 90. So see the pattern, 1.5 to 2.5. By that logic, if you multiply X with 1, you should get 12. And if you multiply 24 with 0.5, you should get X. So 24 into 0.5 will give you 12. And 12 into 1, that will also give you 12. So what is the value of X? It is 12. Okay, we'll go to the next question now. Okay, if P is equal to plus and Q is equal to minus, R is equal to into and S is equal to divided by, then insert the proper notations between the successive numbers in the equation 60-15-3-20-4 is equal to 20. So here we need to fill those operators, those mathematical operators, which will give us the value, the final result to be 20. Once again, just you need not think of too much, just substitute the options and get the values. So let us try the first one, SPRQ. So SPRQ will give you what? S stands for divided by, okay, P plus R into Q minus. Okay, so 60 divided by 15 would be 4, plus 3 into 2 would be 60 minus 4. So, and remember one thing, Mode mass rule applies here. Mode mass rule applies in such questions. So this will give 4 and 4, that they will get cancelled and the resultant would be 60. So option A is not our answer. Let us try option B. So option B says QRPS. So 60, 15, 3, 20, 4. So Q is minus, R is into, P is plus, and S is divided by. So board mass will ask us to do multiplication and division first. So this will be 60 minus 45 plus 5. So this will be 65 minus 45 and that is equal to 20. So we got the required or the desired result. So our answer is option B. Okay, we'll go further now. Okay, look at this one. A mobile phone has been stolen. There are 3 suspects, P, Q and R. They were questioned knowing that only one of them is guilty. Their responses as follows. P says, I did not steal it. Q stole it. And Q says, R did not steal it. I did not steal it. And R says, I did not steal. I do not know who did it. Who stole the mobile phone? Okay, the question tells us that only one of them is guilty. Okay, so this question is based on the logic of truth and false. So we need to see for consistency here. So the guilty person, he would be telling the lie. He would be telling a lie or 2 lies in this context. So each of them, they are telling us 2 statements. So guilty person would be lying and the non-guilty ones, they will be telling the truth. So whichever, if we need to assume P to be guilty first, we need to assume Q to be guilty next, we need to assume R to be guilty next, and based on that we need to see if truth and false holds good. Okay, you will understand better when I solve this question. Okay, first let us begin with the assumption that P is guilty. Okay, we have look at the options. P, Q and R cannot be concluded. So let us begin with option A, that is, let us assume that P is guilty. If P is guilty, he would be lying and Q and R would be telling the truth. So P says, I did not steal, but as per our assumption, P is telling the truth. P is the thief and he is telling lie. Yes, this happens to be a lie. Okay, then he says Q stole it. We have assumed that P is guilty and this is also a lie. So we can definitely say that P is a liar. Okay, look at Q here. Q says R did not steal and I did not steal. Yes, this is true. As per our initial assumption, Q is not guilty and he is telling truth. Then look at R. I did not steal it. I do not know who did it. Again, this might also be true. I did not steal it is definitely true. I do not know who did it. It can be true. There is no, we cannot say that it is false at all. So if we assume that P is guilty, then we can establish that P is lying and R and Q and R, they are telling truth. So it is possible that P is the thief, but we cannot conclude that P is thief by just this assumption. We need to check Q and R also. So we will check for Q and R now. Let us assume that Q is guilty now. Now if Q is guilty, he should be lying. Q says R did not steal and I did not steal. So I did not steal, that is false. We have assumed that Q is guilty person and he is lying, so it is false. And he says R did not steal. When he says R did not steal, now we to answer this question we need to assume one thing, that the guilty person will only be lying and the non-guilty persons, they will be telling the truth. So when he says R did not steal, if this has to be a lie, then in reality R should have stolen it. So then our assumption is contradicted, because we began with the assumption that Q is guilty and Q is telling a lie. But if Q is telling a lie and he says R did not steal, it means that R stole it. Then our assumption got contradicted. So Q is not the guilty person. Now let us try R. We assume that P he is validly a thief, but Q is not a thief. Then let us check for R. Let us assume that R is a thief, and whoever is thief, he will only tell lies, and the other two, they will be telling truth. Now R says I did not steal. Yes, this is a lie. As per our assumption, he is a lie. He is a liar. He is a guilty person. Yes, that is checks out. And he says I do not know who did it. Yes, this is also lie, because he knows he himself did it. Okay, this checks out. Let us try for consistency with P and Q, if they are telling the truth or not. Okay, P says I did not steal. Yes, he is telling truth. But P says Q stole it. Now if he says that Q stole it, if P has to be a truth telling person, then Q should be the thief. But we began with the assumption that R is the thief. So again our assumption got contradicted. So R cannot be thief. So out of these 3 persons, P is the guilty person, P is the liar. So it cannot, so option D is also wrong. We can conclude that P is the guilty person. Okay, we'll go further now. Okay, this one. 3 teams P, Q and R participated in a tournament in which the teams play with one another exactly once. So how many matches have taken place? That means that only 3 matches have taken place: PQ, QR and PR. A win fetches a team 2 points and a draw 1 point. A team gets no point for a loss. Each team scored exactly 1 goal in the tournament. The team P got 3 points, Q got 2 points and R got 1 point. Which of the following statements is /R correct? Okay. So now the result of the match between P and Q is a draw with score 0-0. The number of goals scored by R against Q is 1. Okay. So now we need to evaluate the given circumstance and fit the number of goals and the number of points into perfect scenario and evaluate these two. Which ones? These two given statements. So now what do they tell us? How many matches have taken place? 3 matches only, because each team plays with another team exactly once. One is PQ, the other is QR and the other is RP. So these are the only 3 matches that have taken place. And what are the total points of P? The total points of P is 3, Q is 2 and R is 1. So how many matches has each team played then? Now P has played how many matches has each team played? P has played 2 matches, Q also has played 2 matches and R also has played 2 matches. So when we say that P has got 3 points by playing 2 matches, there is only one possibility, that is 2 plus 1. That is, it won in one match and gained 3 points, and it drew in another match and totally 2 plus 1, it secured 3 points. Okay. Then what about this one, R? Again, when it comes to R, we will talk about Q later. When we talk about R, there is only one possibility. It is that they made a draw in one match and they lost another match. So 1 plus 0, that will give you 1. But when you come to Q, there are 2 possibilities. That is, they made a draw in 2 matches they played, or they won one and lost another. So in either of the case, they will get 2 points. So there are 2 different scenarios here. Okay. But we need to remember one thing: each team has gained only 1 goal. Each team scored exactly 1 goal in that tournament. So that one thing we need to remember. Okay. So now we will begin with one assumption, which we need to evaluate these 2 scenarios. Which one will hold good? So first let us think that this is the correct scenario, 1 plus 1. So we need to evaluate both the cases. This is case 1 and case 2, and we need to see which one is consistent with the given data. That will be the final actual situation. So now P has won in one match and made a draw in another match, and Q has drawn in both the matches. So when they say that Q has drawn in both the matches, now we will express this in terms of number of goals. So now in the match between P and Q, what could have happened? P is a team which has not lost. So when P is a team that has not lost, and Q is a team, as per our assumption, it has made a draw in both the cases. So we will begin with the assumption that both of them, they scored a goal each. So if they scored 1 goal each, then P and Q's quota of goals is over. Okay. So now we need to give a victory for P and another draw for Q. So if Q made a draw here, now Q is a person who made 2 draws. Okay. So Q has already made 1 draw here. If it has to make another draw here, but they cannot make another goal, so they will have scored 0 and R would have scored 0, checks out. Then between R and P cannot score any goal because P's quota of goal is over. R has to score one goal because R has not scored any goal here, but then P would have lost. So this our initial assumption that P and Q made a draw with 1-1, it does not hold good. So P and Q, they could have made a draw in another two cases. We shall see. We will just evaluate all the possible scenarios and see which one holds good. So let us say P and Q, both of them scored 0 and still made a draw. Okay. Then Q has to score a goal here and P has to score a goal here. When that is the case, R has to score 0 on one side and 1 on R has to score only one goal in one of the matches. Now let us think about P. P has made a draw here, so P has to get a victory. So then R got this thing. R did not score in this thing. So P got a victory and P got a draw. Okay, and 2 plus 1 points, fine. Then about Q, they got a draw here and they have get another draw here. Then 1 plus 1, that is also fine. About R makes a draw at one side and it makes a loss at another time. This holds good. This scenario holds good. But there is one more thing to consider, that is this scenario 2 plus 0. We will evaluate that one also. Now if they win at one side and lose at another side, then the only two persons who make a draw are P and R. So this P and R, here must be the draw scenario taking place between P and R. Then okay, again there are two different cases here also, P and R. Either it could be 0 and 0 or 1 or 1. We will start with 0 and 0. If that is 0 and 0, then they have to score one goal, right? So P will have scored one goal here and R will have scored another goal here. And if R scored one goal there and R has already made a draw here, it has to lose here. So if it has to lose here, then Q has to score 2 goals. But each team gets only one score. So this is not a valid case. Beginning with 0-0, that was not valid. So we will try 1 and 1. Okay, now P and R, let us say they scored 1 and 1 on each cases. So here they should have scored 0 and here they should have scored 0. Now both we satisfied both the cases, what draw. But P wants a victory somewhere, but P has scored 0 here, so victory is not possibility. So this entire scenario is waste. So this is the only possible scenario. Based on this, let us evaluate the given statements. The result of the match between P and Q is a draw with score 0,0. P and Q 0,0. Yes, statement 1 checks out. Statement 2, the number of goals scored by R against Q is 1. The number of goals scored by R against Q is 1. Yes, R has scored 1 goal against Q. So statement 2 is also correct. So our answer will be both 1 and 2. Okay, we'll go further now. P is the brother of Q and R. S is R's mother. T is P's father. How many of the following statements are definitely true? Okay, they have given us data and then they have given us statements. We need to see which of the statements is definitely true. So the keyword is definitely. Okay. Now P is the brother of Q and R. Okay. Again, when it comes to this thing, what? This is blood relation. When it comes to blood relation, we will write the family tree. P is the brother of Q and R. Okay. Now we know the gender of P, but we do not know the gender of Q and R. Okay. Next, S is R's mother. So if S is R's mother, S is also P's mother. Okay. Then T is P's father. If T is P's father, it means that T is the husband of S. So now we know the genders of P, T, S and P, but we do not know the genders of Q and R. Now T is the father, S is the mother. T is the father, S is the mother, P is the son, and Q and R, they are children, but we do not know if they are son or children or sons or daughters. Okay. Now let us evaluate these statements. S and T are couple. SNTR couple. Yes, statement 1 it is correct. Q is T's son. Now Q is the child of T, but we do not know if Q is T's son or daughter. So statement 2 is wrong. T is Q's father. Yes, T, we know the gender of T, so T is Q's father, that much we know. S is P's mother. S is P's mother. Yes, that is also true. R is T's daughter. Now we do not know the gender of R. So we do not know if R is T's son or daughter. So this one does not hold good. P is S's son. Now P is S's son. Yes, we know the gender of P. So it's definitely a son. Now how many of the statements are correct? 1, 2, 3 and 4. Select the correct answer using the code given below. Only 2, only 3, only 4. So the answer is only 4. 4 of the given 6 statements are true. Okay, we'll go further now. Okay. If no is coded as 210, not is coded as 4200, note is coded as 21,000, then how is notes coded? Okay, now they have just added one letter at each at the end of the previous word. No plus T, not. Not plus E, note. Note plus S, notes. Okay. Now when they changed no to not, what happened to the number? It changed from 210 to 420. Now observe one thing, 21, twice of 21 is 42, and they had added one more 0. So it means that they multiplied 210 with 20. Now what is is there any relationship between T and 20? Yes, T is the 20th letter in the alphabet. So 210 into 20 will give us 4200. 20 because T is the 20th letter. Then 4200 became 21,000. So now if you multiplied with it 4200 with 10, we would get 42,000. But we got 21,000. It means that they multiplied it with 5. If they had multiplied with 10, we would have got 42,000. So divided by 2, that is if you multiply it with 5, then we get 21,000. Here we have E. E is 5th letter of the alphabet. So 4200 into 5 because of E, it will give you 21,000. So that means that when they add S here, we need to multiply 21,000 with 19. Okay, 21 multiplied with 19 will 21,000 multiplied with 19 will give us what? 19 ones are 19, 1 carry. 19 twos are 38 plus 1 39, and we'll bring 3 zeros here. So 3,99,000. Do we have that option? Yes, option A will be the answer. Okay, we'll go further now. If France is coded as 654321 and Germany is coded as 9158437, then how is Yemen coded? This one is a very easy one. Now E is here and E happens to be 1 as per the first code. We will see the same for the second one. E is here and E also happens to be 1. So they have just given one letter, one digit to one letter. That's all. Again, Y is here and Y is 7 here, and 7, Y is not repeated there, so there is no 7 there. And M is here and M happens to be 8 and there is no M there. Then N is here, N is 3, N is also here, N is again 3. So what is Y? Y is 7, E is 1, M is 8, E is again 1, and N is 3. So 71813. So our answer is option D. Okay, we'll go further now. What is X in the sequence? So now whenever you have confusion finding out the pattern of the sequence, just take the difference between the consecutive numbers or take the ratio between the consecutive numbers. Here we will take the difference first. Now what is the difference between 1 and 3? The difference is 2. What is the difference between 3 and 6? It is 3. 6 and 5, it is 5. 11 and 18, it is 7. And combinedly, we do not know the difference between 18 and X and 42. But is there any pattern between 2, 3, 5, 7? Yes, they happen to be consecutive prime numbers. So what prime number comes after 7? It is 11. And what prime number comes after 11? That is 13. So what is 18 plus 11? 18 plus 11, it is 29. Then what is 29 plus 13? 29 plus 13 is 42. So everything checks out here. So what is the value of x? It is 29. No, it is not 30. The where we have procured this question paper from, they have wrongly marked it. So the correct answer is 29. Okay. We'll go further now. There are 7 places A, B, C, D, E, F and G in a city connected by various roads A, B, A, C, C, D, D, E, B, F, E, G and F, G. A is 6 km to the south of B. So this is a question on directions. We will just draw the diagram as per the given data. So A is 6 km to the south of B. So let B be here. A is 6 km to the south of B. A is 10 km to the west of C. So A is 10 km to the west of C. D is 5 km to the east of B, but we do not know where D and E are. C is 6 km to the north of D. So C is 6 km to the north of D. F is 9 km to the west of B. F is 9 km to the west of B. F is 12 km to the north of G. So F is 12 km to the north of G. Then we had left D. D is 5 km to the east of E. So D is 5 km to the east of E. Okay, a person travels from D to F through these roads. What is the distance covered by the person? Now, which are the roads given in the data? AB is a road, AB is a road, then AC is a road, CD is a road, then yes, DE is a road, then BF is a road, then EG, here there is a road, EG is a road, then FG is a road. Now, what is the distance between GE? If this entire distance is, here it is 9 and here it is 10, so this must be 14 because together it has to make up 19. So now one person starts from D and goes up to F. Now he can take 2 different paths. One, he can go this way, or he can take this way. Whichever path he takes, along the x-axis he will travel 19 kilometers and along the y-axis he will travel 12 kilometers. So 19 plus 12, that will give us, 31 kilometers. Count here, 6 plus 10 is 16, 16 plus 6 is 22, 22 plus 9 is 31, or 5 plus 14 is 19, 19 plus 12 is 31. So together, whichever way he may take, like this way or this way, he will always be traveling only 31 kilometers if he is traveling from D to F. Okay, we'll go next. Okay. In a certain code, if 64 is written as 343, 216 is written as 729, then how is 512 written in that code? So if you can see, there is something special about all the given numbers. What is it? All of them, they are cubes. 64 is 4 cube. 4 cube is written as 343 is 7 cube. Then 216 is 6 cube. It is written as 729, that is 9 cube. Now 512 is 8 cube. 8 cube will be written as what? Now 4 plus 3 is 7. 6 plus 3 is 9. So 8 plus 3 will give you 11. So this should be 11 cube. So what is 11 cube? 11 cube is 1331. Do we have that option? Yes, option B, that is our answer. We will go further now. A question is given followed by 2 statements 1 and 2. Consider the question and statements and mark the correct option. How is Q related to P? Okay, this is question number 70. If it is not visible on the screen, take a look at the question paper, version A. This is question number 70. Okay, how is Q related to P? They have given us 2 statements. Statement 1, P has 2 sisters, R and S. R's, and statement 2, R's father is the brother of Q. Okay, let us draw a family tree here. P has 2 sisters. Now P has how many sisters? 2 sisters, and they happen to be R and S. So we know the genders of R and S. R's father is the brother of Q. Now R's father, we do not know who is. He is the brother of Q. We do not know the gender of Now, how is Q related to P? We cannot answer the question at all, because our Q can be either aunt or uncle. Unless we know the gender of Q, we cannot say how is Q related to anyone. So, in this context, we cannot answer the question with the help of both the statements also. So, the question can be answered using one of the statements, no. The question can be answered using either statement, no. The question can be answered using both, no. The question cannot be answered even using any of the statements, yes. Option D will be our answer, because this question cannot be answered at all. Data insufficiency. Okay. Question number 76. Let P plus Q equals 10, where P, Q are integers. Value 1 is equal to maximum value of P into Q when P, Q are positive integers. Value 2, maximum value of P into Q when P is greater than or equal to minus 6 and Q is greater than or equal to minus 4. Now, we need to find the values of both these quantities, value 1 and value 2, and we need to compare them. Which one is greater and which one is smaller. Now, what is the maximum of P into Q? When they say that P plus Q is 10, so when it comes to value 1, V1, it can be 1 plus 9 or 2 plus 8 or 3 plus 7 or 4 plus 6 or 5 plus 5. They have not told us that P, Q are distinct numbers, so P plus 5 is possible. In which of these cases is the product highest? 1 into 9 is 9, 2 into 8 is 16, 3 into 7 is 21, 4 into 6 is 24, but 5 into 5, that will give us 25. This is the biggest value of value 1. Okay. Now, what about value 2? Now, value 2, here in the first case they were positive integers, but in the second case, in the value 2, they are just integers which happen to be, P happens to be greater than or equal to minus 6 and Q happens to be greater than or equal to minus 4. But we want maximum value. When they say that we want maximum value, both of them have to be either negative, both of them have to be negative, or both of them have to be positive. If one of them is positive and the other is negative, then the product would be negative. So, we want both of them to be positive. When we want both of them to be, negative or positive, both of them have to be negative or both of them have to be positive. When, let us see the condition of when they are both negative. When they are both negative, the greatest value that this can have is minus 6 and the greatest value that this can have is minus 4. Sorry, not the greatest value, the one that will give us the greatest product. 6 into 4 will give us only 24. Okay. And there is another possibility, that is, you might think of P plus this thing. This can be P and this can be Q. 16 into 6, this will give you a big number, but as I told you, when one is positive and the other is negative, it will give you a negative product, so this is not possible. So, this is the confusing part here. So, if you take both of them to be negative, the maximum value that you can get is again only 24. So, if you take both of them positive, that such that their sum is 10, again you will end up with 5 into 5 is equal to 25. So, the answer will be option C. Okay. We will go next. Consider a set of 11 numbers. Okay. Some 11 numbers we need to consider. Value 1, minimum value of the average of the set when they are consecutive integers greater than or equal to minus 5. Now, what is the minimum value of the average of the numbers of the set when they are consecutive integers greater than or equal to minus 5? So, when we want the average to be less, we will begin with the smallest numbers. That will give us small this thing, because if you, let us say you begin with 100, 101, 102, 103 up till 110, you will get a big average. So, if you want small average, they are asking us for minimum value, we will begin with minus 5, because consecutive integers greater than or equal to minus 5. So, if you begin with minus 5, then minus 5, minus 4, minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 5 numbers, 0, 6th number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, another 5 numbers. So, together we got 11 numbers from minus 5 to plus 5. So, what is their average? Their average is 0, because how do you calculate average? You will just add all the numbers and divide it by the number of numbers. So, minus 5 plus minus 4 plus minus 3 and like that up to 3 plus 4 plus 5. Each negative number will be cancelled by each positive number. Minus 5 will be cancelled by plus 5, minus 4 will be cancelled by plus 4. That way, all of the numbers will get cancelled and you will get only 0 for value 1. What about value 2? Minimum value of the product of the numbers of the set when they are consecutive non-negative integers. So the product of the numbers of the set when they are consecutive non-negative integers. So in this context, what we want minimum value, but we want non-negative integer. So what is the smallest number that we can begin with? It is 0. They have not asked us for positive number. They have only told us non-negative integers. So we again we want minimum value. So we can begin with 0. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. So that will give us 11 consecutive numbers such that all of them are non-negative. So what will be the product of those numbers? Now the first number is 0. 0 multiplied with anything will give you 0. So the entire value will be again 0. So what will be your answer? Value 1 is equal to value 2. Option C will be your answer. The average of three numbers P, Q and R is K. P is as much more than the average as Q is less than the average. What is the value of R? Now, what are they telling us? There are three numbers P, Q and R. Their average happens to be K. Now P is as much more than the average as Q is less than the average. So by intuition we can say that R is equal to K. R is equal to K. How? Because if P is as much more than the average as Q is less than the average, it is like this. Let us say, for example, let 5 be the average, then R will be 5, then P will be 3 and so P is more. So P will be, P can be 7, then Q can be 3. 3, 5 and 7. The difference between 5 and 7 is 2. The difference between 3 and 5 is also 2. So the average will be 5 and K is equal to 5, R is equal to 5. So that is how you can answer this by intuition. If you want to answer it by mathematics in detail, now P plus Q plus R is equal to 3. So P plus Q plus R, that will be 3K. Now we know that this is how we can translate the given data into equations. P is equal to K plus X, then Q is equal to K minus X, because P is as much more than the average as Q is less than this thing. So now if we substitute this value here, this will this equation will become K plus X plus K minus X plus R is equal to 3K. Here X and X, they will get cancelled. We will have K plus K is 2K. 2K plus R is equal to 3K. Again we can break 3K into 2K plus K. 2K plus K. 2K plus R is equal to this one. Okay. Now 2K and 2K we can get cancel them. R is equal to K. Okay. So what is the value of R? It is K. It can be easily answered with intuition, or if you want detailed mathematics, this is how we can solve it. Okay. We'll go next. The difference between question number 80, this is the last question. The difference between any two natural numbers is 10. What can be said about the natural numbers which are divisible by 5 and lie between these two numbers? Okay. Let us understand the question. Actually, the framing of the first sentence, it is a bit ambiguous. The difference between any two natural numbers is 10. Okay. We need to consider two natural numbers the difference between whom is 10. What can be said about the natural numbers which are divisible by 5 and lie between these two numbers? So what they are asking us is, let us say we took 5 and 15. There are two natural numbers, 5 and 15. The difference between them is 10. But how many numbers are there between those two numbers which are multiples of 5? If we take 5 and 15, the only multiple of 5 between 5 and 15 is 10. So there is only one such number. Okay. But if we took let us say 1 and 11, again they are also natural numbers, the difference between them is 10. But how many multiples of 5 are there between 1 and 11? Two multiples. One is 5, the other is 10. Both are between 1 and 11. So there are only two such numbers. So both the options are You can, as per the case, as per the set that you get, both option A and option B can be correct. But look at option C. There can be more than one such number. Yes, this holds good in both the cases. Because option A and option B use the word is and are. When they say is and are, they are talking about definite scenarios. But here they tell us can be. Yes, in some of the instances you will have only one such number. In some of the instances there will be more than one number, that is two numbers. So this option C is the option which will accommodate the this scenario. So now no such number exists. No. So what will be our answer? Our answer will be option C. So here we are done with all the reasoning questions of CSAT paper of 2025 year. Next we will see the quantitative aptitude or mathematics questions.